I would like to call the Fairfield County Council Budget Work Session to order on Winsboro, South Carolina, on Tuesday, April 26, 2022, 6 o'clock p.m. Can we get approval of the agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposers, nay. Let the record show 7-0. Invocation by Councilmember Roseborough.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we ask you to give us the wisdom, patience to conduct county business in a responsible way. All these blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, we're down to the work session part of the budget. Ms. Whitaker.
Good evening. Good evening. You have at your desk a memo that was prepared for the follow-up council budget work session. And I'm just going to go through these list of questions. These were the questions that were asked at the last work session, and these are the prepared responses. First question is whether the costs associated with reopening the recycling centers. The county operates 11 sites. The cost to pay attendance to open all 11 sites every Monday for 12 hours a day would be $58,344. Reopening on Mondays would result in the need to go back to require roll-off drivers to work overtime on Saturdays, resulting in an additional cost in overtime pay and fuel estimated at an additional $75,000. Next question, what is the list of total number of county employees, vacant positions, and frozen positions? The county currently has 311 full-time positions, 23 part-time positions, 19 positions are vacant, and 14 positions are frozen. And there's an attachment of the frozen positions on the back. Okay. The next question, what is the trend associated with increase in county attorney fees? What that is, okay. Okay. The county currently is contracted with several legal teams to assist with various matters. We expect to continue to use these services in the upcoming fiscal year. Boykin and Davis, our general legal counsel, Bruner, Powell, Wall, and Mullins, LLC, for Fairfield County versus Wiley Eaton. Gignilliant, Savant, Bettis, LLP, our human resources attorney. Pope Flynn, LLC, our county representation for Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer. Willoughby and Hofer, PA. These were county attorneys that were special representation for the Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer. The next question is, are county employees covered by the county's insurance when doing work while driving a personal vehicle? And this was related to the discussion on deputy coroners. The answer is the county's property liability coverage does not provide coverage for employees driving personal vehicles. Next question, what are the costs breakdown associated with the Droughty Park Fitness Center? The fitness center started with a PARD grant of $48,000 and a $12,000 county match. County council approved an additional $30,000 via request for action. An additional $62,160 was transferred from the building contingency fund in fiscal year 2020 and $45,285 from general fund in fiscal year 2021. The grand total for the project is $197,445.
Any questions from council?
Okay.
I guess I got a couple of questions on Mr. Whitaker. One of them is, and it's a statement, with 308 employees, according to
311.
With 308 employees, according with the Association of Counties,
Okay.
as documented in the Orange Book, we are an outlier. Way too many employees, but this got 311 employees with 19 vacant positions, making 330. So we would be even. So now we at 330 employees, which in itself is just a complete outlier for a county our size. I just want to make that statement. The next thing is,
Mr. Mayor,
Good.
sorry to interrupt.
you're not interrupting. Go ahead.
These are things, and I don't know why we're going over them now. These are things, like I said at the last meeting, council can discuss at another time that don't involve department heads being here and outside agencies being here. They're here to present their department budgets. Let them do what they need to do. And these things we can go over at a later time.
But you brought these things up, Mr. Pauly.
Say it again.
But weren't these the questions you asked last budget session?
Absolutely.
Okay, then. So again,
At a later time, there's no sense in these people waiting here to listen to things that's gonna be discussed by our council at a later time.
so that's 330 employees versus 308 as an outlier for the Association of Counties. The next question is on your back sheet is, did we get any money from Fairfield Forward for this project?
You're asking about the Droughty Park project?
Yes.
Yes, sir. They brought fitness equipment, and some of the, furnishings for the programs inside. This is building. This is just for the construction in the building, not related to what they purchased
Right.
to put in the building in terms of fitness equipment.
Okay, so that's not, so what you're saying is that amount of money is not showing here.
No, I thought we wanted to, maybe I misunderstood. I thought we wanted to know the cost of the building and facility.
We'll get the number.
I can get the cost of the equipment.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. The next item is, of course, Ms. Ann. You want to
All right.
facilitate us through this process?
Yep. The next thing, we're going to go through our agencies. So everybody couldn't come. There were a few people that called and couldn't come, and I didn't hear a definite confirmation back from everybody. So I'm going to just go through them in alphabetical order.
Mhm.
So if you're here, we'll just ask you to step to the podium. And if somebody isn't here, we'll just move on.
I guess, Mr. Whitaker, are we going through all the entire list of people, whether we have questions or not, or how are we going to do that?
Yeah, I think go ahead and tell them. the process.
Yes, sir. I think the plan was for everybody to have, kind of a quick overview, maybe 3 to 5 minutes to just kind of tell us what their agency does for the county. And then we can discuss, any additional questions.
All right, okay, thank you.
American Red Cross is first, and she was sick. She sent me a message today, so she will not be here. Behavioral Health Services next.
I have some documents that I would like the council to get. Who should I give those to? Good evening, Chairman Bell and members of council. My name is Vernon Kennedy Sr. I'm the Executive Director at Fairfield Behavioral Health Services, and certainly want to thank the council for allowing me to be able to come and provide a brief overview of the budget. I do apologize. I do have to leave after this. My office is having a graduation for one of our programs, the Strengthening Families programs, and we're graduating 5 families tonight on site. And so I would be leaving it right after this presentation to get there. But certainly if you have any questions, you can reach me, call me, or if I can meet back with you, that's fine as well. Just a little bit about Fairfield Behavioral Health Services. We are a nonprofit organization. We are designated as the Substance Abuse Authority in Fairfield County about 42 years ago from Fairfield County Council, and certainly we appreciate that. We also pride ourselves in making sure that we provide all of the substance abuse services in Fairfield County for our citizens. We provide confidential services for adolescents and adults in primarily treatment services. Those who might have an alcohol or drug issue, we provide those services. We are strictly an outpatient treatment facility, but we certainly have connections with 31 other organizations in the state. We're all a part of one system under the umbrella of the Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services. And so if someone comes to us needing more than outpatient services, we can certainly make those kinds of referrals within our system, as well as we have many partnerships outside of our systems that we can make as well, whether it's detox, inpatient services, residential services, or whatever the case may be for that particular individual. Certainly in the 42 years that we've been in existence, a lot has happened. We have evolved immensely in a lot of different areas, particularly within our number of clients that we have served over the years, particularly with the array and certainly the continuum of services that we provide and offer to the community. In the various partnerships that we have to make sure that we have in place, because we understand that people that come to our doors need more than just substance abuse services. And so we have to make sure that we're partnering with many other organizations in our community and certainly outside of our community as well. We certainly have increased the number of highly trained staff that we have in our organization, the diversity of our funds. We certainly have to make sure as a nonprofit that we're always looking for funds to carry out the services that we have. And certainly, lastly, in our location, we have moved several different times over the years. I've been there about 25 years, and we've moved once. But before that, we moved a couple of times before that, and certainly we have our new facility that we're in right now, and we certainly appreciate that with the support of council as well. A lot of these changes have happened for the betterment of our community, for the betterment of our clients, that we have allowed us to be able to address substance abuse prevention, treatment, and recovery services in our county. Mostly important, all because of the support of council that we receive. And we certainly, as I said, appreciate that from not only Fairfield County Council, but the administration as well. Although we have been very successful at securing many grants over the years, a lot of these grants have been primarily for specific services or specific drugs of use or specific targeted populations. Many times they don't often cover some of the needed programmatic and administrative services or expenses that we have to incur. And sometimes these things are ongoing. And so this is where we need county council support. Over the years, councils have supported us. The funding that we get from council, it has allowed us to be able to get, you know, some, as I said, some of those support services that we don't necessarily get with other grants, like lawn care, you know, overhead costs, repairs, inspections, and those kinds of things. And quite honestly, many of those things that council once used to provide and support for us. And so thus, a lot of times, this is what our funding is being used for, to be able to help with those kinds of things. Particularly, as I said, many of these other grants do not cover and do not have line items for us to be able to cover those kinds of things. We rely on a lot of data. The document that I provided to you includes some of that data. I cannot go over all the stuff tonight, of course, but a lot of the document that I shared with you tonight, as well as before tonight, it has a lot of data and that sort of drives what we do, because we rely on data, the data that continues to impact our work and direct our work in the community, in the schools, in the churches, wherever it might be. For example, some of this data that sort of points to, contrary to what people often think, a lot of our young people have reported never using drugs, particularly as we do a survey every 2 years. We find out, we just did one, and we're proud to say we did one with all of the schools. Most of the time it's just been with the public schools, but this year we were able to get all of the schools in Fairfield County. And so we're looking forward to that data coming out. But to that, consistently, we have seen that 90% or more of our kids have never used drugs. Now, in some cases, they may have, and so that's why we continue to do this work as well. In large part, we look at the data, Fairfield County still ranks high in DUI crashes, still ranks high in alcohol-related hospitalizations, still ranks high in the number of clients that we see that have smoking issues or smoke quite often, and we still rank high in terms of nicotine-related hospitalizations, as well as opioid overdoses and reversals. Many of you have heard that in the last several years, how the state has been in an opioid epidemic. Where Fairfield County, we formed this Fairfield Opioid Response Team to try to address those kinds of issues. And we're doing great work, but it's still work that has to continuously go on. Many of these cases, the data also not only points to us worsening our situation in Fairfield County, but we rank higher in the state, and sometimes in the highest in the state for some of this data. And so thus is the need for all of our work that we continue to do. I think over the years, we have certainly proven that we have been consistently great stewards of the funds that we receive, no matter where they come from, especially from county council, as well as been very compliant with all of our governing entities. And we have many of them, from not only on DEOTAS, from DHEC, having to be licensed, from CORF, having to be accredited, and we just went through that last year with a 3-year accreditation, from Department of Health and Human Services, from United Way. There's many others, and not even including all of the credentialing bodies that my staff have to go through in order to maintain their licensing, licensures and credentials. And so we pride ourselves on making sure that we stay compliant with that, because we know that that's very important, and it speaks to the quality of work and the quality of services that we're providing. So with that, I respectfully ask that council continuously provide us at $62,944 so that we can continue to provide the services without hesitation, without concern, without worry, knowing that some of these other grants that we do secure do not cover those kinds of things. And lastly, I will ask that council will really consider forgiving us of that 25-year no-sale facility loan that we've had in place since we built our new facility. It's a no-sale facility, and I can tell you, being here 42 years, our organization, all the great work that we have, all the anticipated growth that we're going to be working toward, particularly with many of our partners, we have no reason and no anticipation of closing our doors. We have no anticipation of dissolving our organization. And as such, based on that particular loan, I would ask that council forgive that 25-year no-sale facility loan that is placed on us at this time, in addition to that $62,944 that we're asking for. That's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions, I'll take those. If not, I'll certainly be glad to address them at any time.
Mr. Whitaker, how much did we recommend?
I don't actually have my big book, but all the agencies are set at the 2022 funding level.
Okay.
Yep.
If you got it.
Another question, Mr. Kennedy, are you aware of the lawsuit from the state concerning opioids, and are you familiar with that lawsuit?
Yes, the opioid settlement, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're very much following that.
Okay. We have Mr. Whitaker have information on that.
Yes.
If you want to talk to him and discuss with him,
Okay.
I think there's going to be some funding there for you to do some other additional work. And again,
Excellent.
for all you do.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
Next would be Central Midlands Council on Governments. Is it anybody? And the Central South Carolina Alliance. Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, now we can do better than that. I have these to pass out, Tiffany. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come and speak tonight. I'll tell you the difference between, well, first of all, I'm Gene Stevens with the Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce. And I want to tell you the difference kind of between our chamber and other chambers. Chamber of Commerce normally in the community will actually do, their goal is actually, their focus is actually small business development. And then they'll have like maybe one other thing, like a tourism, community development, do events or something like that. That kind of, basically two big projects. Our chamber is involved in I'll be honest, pretty much everything. We do small business development. We promote tourism. We do community development. Actually, one of the programs that was actually very close to my heart, coming from the school district, is a workforce development program that we started with the schools here, getting kids actually ready for interviews, teaching them soft skills. We actually had HR reps come in and teach young people how to do interviews, how to do resumes, through mock interviews and stuff like that. We also brought in companies to do all senior hiring events last year. We started at Fairfield Central, and it's actually moving to the STEM school this year with their senior class. But that's one of the things that I was pretty proud about. But we also do 12 major events throughout the year that bring in close to about 45,000 people total with the 12 events we do. And it's estimated, working basically that's a rough estimate, but it's about 25,000 people that actually come from out of town to come to our events, which is basically bringing 25,000 people in to our community. I wanted to share the paper that you have. Actually talked to Mr. Whitaker and Sunithia about this. Actually, when they first came in during the pandemic, you had a lot of, if you know, state of South Carolina lost a lot of revenue for tourism. Like your bigger areas, they did awful. You had some that lost over 30% of their tourism revenue. They lost a lot of their employees, 30%. Fairfield County was one of the only counties in the state of South Carolina to actually take in every single tourism category increased in 2020. So when everybody else was struggling, losing businesses, losing employees, losing funding, when that happened, Fairfield County is one of the only counties in the state that actually had increases across the board for their tourism promotion. We work with, I'll be honest, we're one of the organizations that actually touches almost all 20,000 lives in Fairfield County through the various different operations and different initiatives and programs and everything that we do. And we also have a reach outside of the county. So we actually have a huge reach as far as the number of people we actually touch. And honestly, I think we do a pretty good job. Some of our partners, Railroad Museum, we promote the different, our lakes, parks. We promote Carolina Venture World. If you know, Carolina Venture World is actually going with their new ownership, is doing a lot more activity. And I've been working closely with Jenny, who's kind of like the project manager out there, and bringing a lot of that, the people that come out there and, riding the four-wheelers and stuff like that, it's not really for them. They're getting a lot more families. And our goal is to actually get them into our towns, get them to our restaurants, get them to our shops, get them to our farmers market, different things like that. And actually some small things like taking food trucks out to them, taking our farmers market out to them, different things like that. But basically we're creating, it's never really been had a pathway between Carolina Venture World and our small towns, our Ridgeway, Winsboro, even out to Lake Monticello and Jenkinsville. So we work very closely with pretty much every agency here that does tourism. And we work with every business in Fairfield County. We also deal with the larger businesses. That's one of the things that the workforce development program kind of hit me when I first started. I asked all the large businesses, I was like, how can we help you? What can we do for you? They all said we need employees. And if you know right now, state of South Carolina, and I'm pretty much the country, is struggling for employees. So we're doing our part to kind of help develop that workforce, get jobs lined up for our young people, and also kind of make an easy transition for a path to employment in Fairfield County, which has kind of been a struggle in the past. There's a lot of people in an area that is a lot of poverty. You don't have a pathway to employment. We've been working to try to bridge that gap. And we also have some great partners like Midlands Tech does a great job with their new free classes that they're offering. I know Tom sent me something about it, offering these skills that people have never had before, and just basically creating a workforce for Fairfield County. We, let's see what else. Oh, I think you all have the packets that we go through, and it lists pretty much everything that we do. We have actually expanded our advertising up into the Rock Hill area. And in Charlotte, one of the things that we're doing with Carolina Venture World is they're going to start tracking where the people come from, because they have a lot of folks coming in, and it's the biggest draw in Fairfield County. So they're going to start tracking that and give that data, share that data with us, so we can actually start doing some target marketing in those areas where a lot of those folks come from. So as soon as they get all those numbers lined up and the actual information, they're going to pass that on and actually share it with the county and everybody. So I'm really excited about that. But we are actually with 2 employees. We actually just hired someone else. So Susan Yenner won't be with us anymore. We actually have another employee that started today, and we're in the process of training her. But I think we do a pretty good job. And I will say, I think we're a positive light in Fairfield County. And we try to keep everything positive, promote what we have. We look at the challenges and try to face those, but we promote what we have and try to build that up. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Ms. Bass, how do we fund the Chamber of Commerce? Do we do it through the tourism?
Yes, it's funded through our accommodations tax that comes from the state. There are two components to that, tourism related and tourism promotion. So it's broken out in two components.
So this total is funded through that?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, one of the things you and I talked about is trying to do something, but you go to Molly Creek
Mhm.
and it's just really busy anyway.
Mhm.
But we still hoping we can do something.
Oh, I'm looking to actually do, one of the things, because I mentioned this to you, is one of the things we did during COVID, because we had to get kind of innovative, I guess you can say, creative, was taking some of our like drive-in movies and different things like that, because we really couldn't do the gatherings like we did. One of the things that we actually did was like a movie on the lake. People loved it. I think that would be pretty cool out at Molly Creek to do like a movie on the lake, let people come sit on the sand, watch it, then pull the boats up if they want to, but it'll give it more exposure. But I was also talked to WLTX about doing a special spotlight for that. And honestly, like Ty, who works with WLTX, he told me, he said, Gene, get with your administrator and stuff like that, and let's see when you want to do this. So that's something that I'm following up with Mr. Whitaker with, to actually do some free advertising. I would say our local television stations do an excellent job of giving us free publicity. They'll hit me up all the time, what's going on in Fairfield County, and we always try to keep it positive. Every community has its issues, but we try to keep it positive. Like, listen, these are the things that are coming that bring a bright light to Fairfield County, and they do a great job of actually coming and supporting that. So we're actually gonna have that pretty soon too. So yeah, that's an amazing area out there.
Thank you.
I like that area. Any other questions?
All right.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all so much.
All right. Next in line, Chameleon Inspirations Learning Center. Clemson University Cooperative Extension.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Marlene Walker. I'm one of the county agent and also the county coordinator. I have with us today our 4-H agent who was recently hired, Stephanie Ikes, for our 4-H youth development program. In addition, we recently hired a nutrition educator for our expanded food and nutrition program. Clemson University Cooperative Extension Service provides service or transfer service, providing information to individuals and groups and community, and help them to apply the information to improve their quality of life. We have 5 target areas: food safety and nutrition, forestry, natural resource, commercial and consumer horticultural, livestock, forage, youth development, and 4-H. Along with our budget request, we also included our agency, Clemson Public Service and Agriculture Report for Fairfield County. There you will find our impact of how we engage the citizens to improve economical development, the quality of life by delivering research-based information. The citizens learn from the information provided from our program. They're also able to lead more productive, healthy lives that contribute to the economic development of the county. The number of people participating in the educational program was 119. The number of education programs and workshops conducted using direct method was 22. And other educational content either through phone, other office visit, or one-on-one was 35. And of course, during COVID-19, we had to be creative, reaching our clientele remotely, doing Zoom classes, interacting. We are back into the community, working with our constituents as well. The budget request is really for our 4-H and youth development program. In addition to those staff members that I mentioned that we recently hired, they're based in Fairfield County as well as myself. We also in the process of hiring a new county administrator. That person will begin on Monday. In addition to the staff, we also have area agent that supports the programs in Fairfield County. We thank you for your support of Fairfield County Clemson Extension. What questions do you have for us?
I think there's no question, but again, we want to thank you for all you all do for this county. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Columbia Area Mental Health.
Hey there, good evening. My name is Allison Farrell. I'm the Executive Director of Columbia Area Mental Health Center. We provide our public mental health services to Richland and Fairfield County. So normally Greg Oates is up here with you guys. He's been with DMH for about 30 years. He has moved on to greener retirement pastures. So you guys get me tonight, but it's quite a loss. We have replaced his position with a wonderful woman named Shanita Lee, who I'm sure you'll get to know here in the coming months. As you know, DMH, if you don't know, is about 200 years old. So we are a longstanding agency, very proud to be here in Fairfield County. At our Fairfield Clinic, we have 7 staff, including adult psychiatrists and child psychiatrists. Services include individual, family, and group therapy, mobile crisis services, which is where if there's a psychiatric emergency out in the community, then 2 clinicians will go out with law enforcement with the goal of diverting from emergency rooms and detention centers where people are not going to get the mental health services that they need, the way that we're going to be able to provide them in the community. Super important service. School-based services. We have 1 school-based clinician that provides school-based services in 2 of your public schools right now. For fiscal year 21, we served 306 residents, providing 3,063 services to those adults and children and their families. Community partners include probate court, behavioral health, who we heard from earlier, collaborating on the creation of a drug court, the detention center, although they do have their own psychiatric staff, we consult and provide services as needed. Obviously, the school district, MUSC, law enforcement, super important partner. Appreciate your service. Referrals. So where do referrals to mental health come from? They come from schools, walk-ins. People can walk into a clinic anytime. We'll give them an assessment and make sure that they're being connected to the services that they need. Law enforcement is a large referral source. Behavioral health, probate court, our hospitals, emergency rooms, family and friends, really anybody in the community can refer, and we will bring anyone in and provide that service. No one is turned away for their inability to pay. Some of the benefits of the Department of Mental Health and the services that we provide are access to entitlement specialists, housing specialists, helping our friends in need in terms of unsheltered residents, mobile crisis that I mentioned earlier, and then employment services. So I ask that you consider our $75,000 budget request. Mental health we've never seen the need, and I don't think that these are unprecedented times. I don't think that we're going to see a decrease in mental health needs and mental health services and the need for those in the weeks and the months and the years ahead, especially with our children. So thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, one, this rental lease, Ms. Bass, what do we pay? Where are you renting from?
I'm sorry?
No, there's a question for Ms. Bass about.
Oh, okay.
Well, she'll have to answer that. We give the Department of Mental Health the allocation directly. They pay their own vendors. So I think the question was about the lease. the rental lease?
I would have to get back to you on exactly who we lease from. But obviously the county's contribution offsets our total operating costs. That's from state dollars, revenue, and some small grants.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Council on Aging.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for allowing me to come here tonight and talk to you about our budget request. I'm Angie Connor. I'm the Executive Director of the Council on Aging here in town. We are actually the designated focal point for senior services in Fairfield County as designated by the State Department on Aging and through the Central Midlands Area on Aging. So what we do is provide Meals on Wheels to all of Fairfield County. We do lunch at our senior center. We do activities and transportation for our senior center participants. We also do some in-town transportation for like grocery shopping, essential kinds of things like that. We, at one time prior to the pandemic, we had a home care program that we are currently working to reinstate. The pandemic put kind of a crush on that. We couldn't get our staff to work or anything, so we're in the process of trying to find employees and get that back up and running. It's a very needed service here in the county. But these services are considered to be core services under the Federal Older Americans Act, and they're required to be provided within every state of the country. So we are the designated ones for Fairfield County. The majority of our funding does come through the Federal Older Americans Act, and they're federal dollars, and they're allocated to local service providers like us through a request for proposal process through Central Midlands, and we have been awarded that process ever since its inception. The Council on Aging serves home delivered meals to approximately 200 seniors 7 days a week. So we're serving about 1,400 meals weekly. We're all over the county. We go to every corner. You are not denied services just because of where you live. We use a combination of staff and volunteers to get this done. And we're really proud because 2022 actually marks the 50th year of services for nutrition services for the county through the Council on Aging. So we've been providing Meals on Wheels to the residents for 50 years now. Our newly renovated senior center is seeing some increase in traffic since we opened it in November of 21. Prior to the pandemic, we were seeing about 30 to 35 people a day eating lunch there. Now we're seeing about 13 or 14 a day just to eat lunch. And although those numbers are lower, that traffic is going up. People are now becoming more comfortable getting out of their houses and coming back to the senior center. And they're really excited to be back among people. Isolation is a big deal in our senior population. And the more we can get people out and around each other, the better quality of life they have. So we have more than just lunch though. We've got exercise classes, bingo, crochet classes, arts, crafts. We've had some technology classes already. We also offer the facility to be used by different civic clubs and organizations. Currently, the Winsboro Rotary and the American Legion's Women's Auxiliary Group meet in our facility on a monthly basis. And there's a lot more activities that are being planned for everyone in the county. We're averaging, although we've got about 13 or 14 a day eating lunch, we're averaging about 60 people a week actually coming through our senior and using some type of service. So there's a lot of people there's some traffic coming through our places. Our seniors in Fairfield County are no different than anywhere else. They're facing specific struggles when it comes to aging in place and staying in their own home and communities. The cost of living continues to rise, as we all know, yet their incomes remain stagnant. While many seniors have health problems and medical bills that eat away their retirement, others have found that they're simply outliving their savings. People have planned for retirement, but the cost that went up it's just not enough to keep them able to do what they want to do. It's a daily struggle to choose between medicine, utility bills, and proper nutrition. But our agency is facing the same types of struggles. While trying to take care of seniors and provide for them, the price of doing business is skyrocketing for us as well as it is for all other agencies. Their higher labor costs, the higher material costs and supplies is taking a toll on our services, and we're trying our best just to maintain where we are in keeping that going. Our raw food cost alone since July 1st has increased up to $1 for just providing the meal. So we're trying to absorb those costs and keep people on these programs. The programs administered by the Council on Aging are extremely important to the citizens because they're designed to enhance the seniors' quality of life. We can't have resources to help them with financial problems or things like that, but we can help them get their basic needs. And sometimes that's all it takes, that little bit of boost to keep somebody going. We do not charge fees for our services. We do accept donations, and we do not turn anybody away if they can't pay for anything. So the citizens of Fairfield County, they deserve to have these services in place. They've contributed greatly to their communities, and their needs are significant. Fairfield County government has been very supportive of our agency, and we're extremely grateful for that. And we're hoping that y'all continue the support that you have for our seniors in this community. Thank you for your time. If I've got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions? Again, we want to thank you for all you do for this county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
no question, but going forward, can we just have at least listen to the staff recommendation?
Okay,
Is that possible?
okay.
Being that we don't have it in front of us.
I agree with you. Ms. Bass, what he says is, as they finish, let's talk about what the staff recommendation is.
Okay, if you want to turn to page 42 in your notebook, well, they start on 42 and go over onto page 43. Council on Aging is the top of page 43. And as I stated before, everybody's basically set at the funding level for 2022, which is for Council on Aging is $93,969. Okay.
And we do want to keep these to 3 to 5 minute presentations.
Yeah. Okay. Next is, sorry, I think I put the wrong one down. Department of Social Services. Anybody? And then we have Board of Disabilities and Special Needs.
Hello, everybody. I'm Laura Collins with the Fairfield County Disabilities and Special Needs Board. I brought along a copy of our agency brochure. Brad, can I give you these to pass out to the council members? Thank you. The Fairfield County Disabilities and Special Needs Board serves some of the most vulnerable individuals in the county. The folks that we serve have lifelong developmental disabilities, including mental retardation, autism, and we also have a head and spinal cord injury division. We provide residential services, we provide job coach services, and vocational services for the folks in our program. Fairfield County Council has always been extremely supportive of the folks that we serve. In fact, we have a recycling site that we operate for Fairfield County Council. It's the Jenkinsville recycling site, and we have been operating that for a number of years solely with employees from our agency. We have a group that goes out Monday through Friday, and they work from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m., and it's an enclave of staff with about 6 consumers that perform the job duties necessary. Our job coach folks who can work independently operate the evening hours and on the weekends. So I would like to challenge council to take a look at your other recycling available positions that you may have open. I know that's been a struggle for you all to fill those. We may be able to handle some of the operations of those, especially on the weekend, at a reduced cost to you, as opposed to having employees and paying insurance and other benefits. So we would love the opportunity to be able to discuss that with you and give you a quote on that. I talked a little bit about the services that we offer outside of the vocational program, but the vocational program is the program that we ask for funding from the council. And basically, the funding that we ask for is to support the transportation cost. The Fairfield Diversified Services Program, transport service recipients living in the community to and from the workshop and to and from their jobs. The operation of this program is so important to the families and those that we serve. This allows families and caregivers to be able to go to work Monday through Friday, knowing that their loved one is gainfully employed or taken care of in one of our vocational type facilities. And it also gives that person a feeling of satisfaction that they were able to complete a task and they earn a paycheck just as the other employees do, and they get paid every other Friday. These folks are actually dining in Winsboro, shopping in Winsboro, putting money back into the economy. We have 10 residential houses in Winsboro that are called community training homes. So, and we employ about 125 employees when we are fully staffed. However, our current situation is that we're down about 18% of our workforce. So that's been a huge struggle for us trying to recruit and maintain employees. Mostly we do have longtime employees that are staying with us, but the newer folks tend to come and go. When you can make more money at McDonald's than you can providing care, hands-on care to someone with a disability. A lot of the younger folks choose to go that route. The funding that we are requesting, though, for our day program covers the transportation cost, as I said, and we are requesting $55,000. $35,000 of that is for supplies, which is the fuel that it takes to operate the fleet of vehicles for the day program. We have $12,000 budgeted for repairs and $8,000 budgeted for insurance. I do want to say that this is not the total cost for operation of the vehicles for this particular area. Last year, the cost was about $70,000. But we do receive funding from the South Carolina Department of Disabilities and Special Needs, and we also have fundraisers throughout the year to help generate the additional funds that we need to operate. So I do hope that council, again, will support us, and we appreciate the support given to our agency by the council. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Bass.
All right, the funding level is set at 49,500.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And I think maybe between those two, it might have gotten muffled as everybody was shifting around, but I think they wanted to remind everybody of the 5 minutes, and we certainly know everything is important, and we want to be able to allow everybody the opportunity to have some time. Next up is Eau Claire Cooperative Health. The Fairfield Health Department. Good Samaritan House. No, they're not here. Midlands Technical College.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of council, Mr. Whitaker. I'm happy to be with you to talk a little bit about what we're doing in Fairfield County from Midlands Technical College. Before I get started, I wanted to take a moment to, well, I'm Ron Raines, president of Midlands Technical College, and I have some colleagues here with me. Debbie Walker, our vice president for business affairs, and Barry Kirk, our provost for the college. Thank you for your support of MTC over the years. It's been incredible, and we are very appreciative of the support that you provided. So during the current academic year in Fairfield County, we offered 20 academic courses, 8 corporate and continuing education courses to the citizens of the county. So between Fairfield High School location and the campus, some 250 students took classes in the county. Now, see, this includes, again, the high school students from Fairfield Central and Richard Wynn. Students taking classes at the high school. Richard Wynn takes classes on the campus of MTC here in the county. We expect to award some 25 high school students an associate degree or a certificate from our college during our college's graduation next week. I want to say that one more time. Some 25 students will get an associate degree or a certificate from MTC during our graduation next week.
That's simply outstanding, sir.
I just want to tell you what that really means. That means that these students have a head start, and your investment allows this. These students are saving their parents a tremendous amount of money. They're reducing the cost of education, and for me, most important, they are in a position to take on a lot less debt to get educated, and it's because of your investment in the college. This number that we expecting this year is very similar to what we did last year in terms of high school students getting a college award. And I want to point out one more time, this is an award that they get before they get their high school diploma. And I have the great pleasure to be part of the high school graduation here at Fairfield Central and honoring those students a second time. So overall, enrollment for the Fairfield County residents is about 275 FTE students. This does not include those dual enrollment students that we just talked about. So one of the things that we did for the first time, we're offering in the community what we call community interest courses. This has really been very successful. We just started in the spring of 22. The courses that we offered include organizing computer files. We had 10 enrollees in that program. Computer basics for seniors, 8 enrollees. A first aid course, 15 enrollees. And for this summer, we have a course that's being offered called Using the Internet Safely. And these courses are being offered, again, as community interest, no charge to the community. And so they're being well received, and they're being held here at the campus. Another exciting thing that we are engaged in the county is through apprenticeships. As you know, apprenticeship program is a way for an organization to build their own workforce, train their own, help grow their own. And so we're working with BOMAG for their industrial mechanical technicians. We've done work with the with Fairfield Medical Association for patient care technicians and medical coding and billing. We also done some work in terms of apprenticeship with the county through the paramedic program. We are excited. We expect that the 22-23, in terms of the activities in the county and the impact on the citizens from the county, to be similar to what we had for this year. We expect that to be the same for next year. One difference is that we're working now to hopefully offer an EMT program here in the county in terms of our offerings to the citizens. Our budget request for this year is $155,100. And I believe last year our funding was $142,929. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
One of the things I want to say, Dr. Raines, previous years, we've asked you to increase your presence at the Midlands Tech School here in the county, and you've done just that. You know, you and I have talked about those courses, those free courses, those community courses, and that kind of thing. That's been a success for this county. So we want to thank you for all the work you're doing, and for this county's success. And then, you know, would you mind talking a little bit about the training that Midlands Tech offer? You know, for people, for training for new jobs and that kind of thing.
Sure.
That's going to be a big plus for as we go into the future.
Right. And so that's done on two different levels. One, I mentioned that we offer corporate and continuing education courses here in the county. And most of those courses are designed specifically for employers, for the companies that are looking for employees. We also have our Quick Jobs program where many citizens can come to MTC and in little as 4 weeks in some cases, get a skill set that will get them a job. And so we're really excited about that program. It's been very successful for the folk that take advantage of it in our college service area.
Okay.
Other questions?
Go ahead.
Mr. Raines, got a question for you. I've been on council for 6 years, and every year you submit a request and is not in detail. It always says building maintenance. Are you familiar with how many academic classes you offered in the spring at the Fairfield campus?
So and I know we have the numbers here. So we offered, I do have the,
Website, you offered one class for the academic spring class at Midlands Tech in Winsboro.
so we had two classes this spring, English 102 and History 202.
Website, it was one, and I called up there and spoke with a lady, and she said that y'all also was offering one class in the spring. Also in the fall, coming up, you're offering two academic classes, History 101 and History 201.
Mhm.
You're offering a training class of CNA 6 times, one phlebotomy class and one pipe welding.
Mhm.
All right, so 2 academic courses and 3 training.
Right.
Would you tell me the $150,000 that you're describing as building maintenance, does that go toward the building maintenance?
So the monies that Fairfield County as well as Richland and Lexington County goes towards the college's physical plant operations. And so, yes, we do use the money to support the college's facilities. So the way we fund, the way the county fund the college is that the county does not have a direct millage, similar to what we have with our remaining 2 counties that fund us. And so we look at the tuition rate that's charged, and there is instead of the students that come to MTC, remember now almost 300 students will come to the campuses in Midland and Lexington counties. And so we fund the difference between what we would charge an out-of-county student and an in-county student. And so that's why that's how we come up with the $155,000 that we're asking for.
So you're telling me that the $155,000 that Fairfield County gives is not used for the Fairfield campus, is used for all 3 campuses?
It's used for all of our physical plant operations. Yes, sir. That's what I'm telling you.
All right, so
Just like the,
what's the in-county rate versus the out-of-county rate?
so Debbie, you know the in-county rate versus,
It's on page 2 of the package, Paul.
The out-of-county rate is $2,820, and the in-county rate is $2,256. So the difference is $564.
All right. Didn't in the spring semester, students went to Midlands Tech for free?
Sir, I know you're asking about the zero tuition and the conversation with the governor. They did attend, students could have attended the college for free. I would say to you though, the money that was provided by the state represented about 20 or 25% of the money that was needed. And for those students who were able and were qualified for it, the institution made up the difference to make sure that we honored the commitment that the governor made.
Well, Mr. Raines, I just feel like with the amount of money that Fairfield County is given, they're not getting their best bang for the buck with Midlands Tech. You could offer a whole lot more in Fairfield County. 2 academic classes, I just don't feel it's enough. In the same class 6 times, and 2 other classes for training classes is not enough.
So, yes, we understand, sir, and we have over the years offered a lot more courses. We do work with the advisory board that we have trying to decide and figure out what the right mix of courses. We are educating folk here in the county, through what's going on over at the high schools, as well as working with Richard Wynn.
Well, if you could give me a printout of how many students attended in the spring, I would like to see.
So-
I would like to see that number.
So-
Every time you present something, it talks about building maintenance. And Fairfield County does the building maintenance on their property.
That's true.
I've got a list here for shrubbery around the building needs to be trimmed. Bird nest needs to be removed from the front of the building. And I'm pretty sure it don't take $150,000 to do those things for building maintenance.
Sir, that might be correct, sir. But again, the money that you provide help lower the cost for students that are attending MTC when they come to Columbia, to one of our campuses in Richmond or Lexington. And we do have a number of Fairfield citizens taking advantage of those courses. And so again, any student that comes or that Richland or Lexington County fund us, they actually help support students that come from Fairfield County as well. So.
Thank you.
Again, any other questions? But we're going to thank you, Dr. Raines, for your presence here in the county. Currently, Midland Tech is the school, is the technical school that supports Fairfield County. So again, we want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that funding level is set at the 2022 adopted, which was 142,929. Next, we have Palmetto Citizens Against Sexual Assault. The Old English District.
I want to thank council for allowing me to present tonight. My name is Lynn Montgomery Moore with the Old English District Tourism Commission. Jenny Parrish, our executive director, was unable to be here tonight. She had a prior engagement in another part of our region. For those of you who are not familiar with the Old English District, we were created by state legislature to promote tourism in Fairfield County and 6 other counties. It's our mission not only to get visitors to come to Fairfield County and our other counties, but ask them to stay longer and spend more money, just as Jean said before me. We want them to come to Fairfield County, spend money in the restaurant, stores, gas stations, in attractions, and generating accommodations tax, sales tax, gas tax. They all contribute to this economy, thus benefiting the residents. By promoting all 7 counties that we have together, it gives the visitor more reasons to come to Fairfield County and our other counties. And we all know as visitors, we don't see the county line. When you go and visit somewhere at the beach, you don't care if you're in Horry County or Georgetown County when you go to eat or what you go to do. We work closely with the chamber, not to duplicate their efforts, but to enhance them. We act on promotions and do a lot of advertising, whereas the chamber does a lot of local stuff and almost product development, as y'all were discussing before. But working with them allows us to properly promote you. We have a marketing plan that we put together that markets all of our counties. It's put together by state research as well as a conversion study that we have done. And this marketing plan It includes brochures, our visitor's guide, as well as other brochures that include Fairfield County. Travel shows. Recently, we did the Bassmaster Classic in Greenville, where we were able to meet with fishermen and their families and other consumers and talk about going to Lake Watery and not only going there, but stopping in other places that stop in Ridgeway and eat. Don't go back to Columbia. There's so much to do here that visitors need to know about. Come on in to the South Carolina Railroad Museum. Take your family there. We also have a great presence on social media with Facebook and Instagram that I encourage you to look at. We do digital and print media. We do ads, Southern Living, South Carolina Living, Columbia Metro, North Carolina, Our State Magazine. We recently did a 2-page spread that encouraged people to come to our state parks. And while you're there, this is some other things that you can do. Our website has recently been revamped and we're currently updating content. In May, we will be bringing people from all of the South Carolina Welcome Centers. There's 9 of them. We'll be bringing them to the Old English District and into Fairfield County. We'll meet up with Jean and take them to a few places. This will be an advantage because they will be able to promote Fairfield County throughout the state. Much of our promotions may be the only regional and national promotion of the counties. Thank you, and we appreciate your continued support. Are there any questions?
Thank you. I don't think there's no question for council, but again, thank you.
Thank you.
The Old English District is funded out of our accommodations tax under tourism promotion, similar to one of the components is the chamber. And that funding level is set at 21,809, the same as last year. Funding level was set at the same as last year,
Again, that was,
21,809.
now, they only asked for 19, so let's go back to what.
Right, correct. Next up, we have the public defender.
Evening. Thank y'all for letting me be here this evening. Apologize, I gotta get these glasses. At some point, I got old and can't read anymore. For those of you who don't know me, I'm William Frick. I am your circuit public defender for the 6th Judicial Circuit that encompasses Fairfield, Chester, and Lancaster counties. And Dr. Raines, while you're sitting there, I just want to say thank you for your cooperation with the school district. This is just outside this role, but as a dad, my daughter is graduating from the Governor's School in Greenville this May, and will be going to the University of South Carolina with several classes that she took through the partnership we've had with the school district because she was in cohort 5 at Fairfield Central High School. I'm very excited about that. I hope I can convince her to maybe leave school a little bit early, but I don't know. Now, back to what I'm here about. Of course, we've got our office located in the Fairfield County Courthouse, and we appreciate y'all moving forward with the expansion at the courthouse. We're hoping to be able to provide better service. Right now we're on that main hallway and gets a little noisy, and we looking forward to that coming about. We have 2 full-time attorneys in our Fairfield office. They are seasoned attorneys. I can tell you in other offices, I'm having a difficult time trying to recruit and maintain attorneys. There's a lot of money floating out there in the world for lawyers, and so they don't want to work for the public defender's office and the starting salary of $49,000 that I can offer them. And with all this talk of loan forgiveness that is going around, which is a great thing, but one of the great incentives we were able to provide is if you work for us for 10 years, you can get your loan forgiven. Well, if the loan's going to get forgiven anyway, why you want to make $49,000 a year for 10 years when you can go out and make money and still get your loan forgiven? I tell you that to say, that is why I'm asking for the salary increase that I am here. As I told you, I've got 2 seasoned attorneys, meaning I've got 2 lawyers that I can let run court in Fairfield County, and I don't have to worry about what's happening. They take care of the clients, they do their job, and they've been with us for a while. And one of them, in fact, is a resident of Fairfield County. And the other one is a longtime attorney who has been doing this for about 30 years. I'm trying to keep folks. That's why I'm asking for this. One is moving up on the salary level. We implemented the salary ladder some years ago. Solicitor's office and our office did an attempt to keep attorneys in the public sector, qualified, good attorneys, and it's been effective in that. But one is moving up to the step of deputy public defender, which is the highest level you can reach. And then the next one, I'm asking for a COLA increase. As y'all are aware, we're kind of a unique character. We don't belong to anybody. Our administering county is Chester County, but that's because they're the ones who write the checks. They just, somebody's got to write the checks to the employees. So the money comes to us from the state and from our local counties. I can tell you every dime of the money that you're seeing here that I'm asking for is spent in the Fairfield County office. It does not fully fund the Fairfield County office, but every dime goes to paying our paralegal, the 2 attorneys. We have a contract attorney who handles magistrate's court. And then outside of that, we have an attorney who goes around the circuit handling the juvenile cases. As y'all know, and it's not unique to Fairfield, there's been an increase in violent crime. Crime overall is not really increased, but real violent offenses have. And we've been hit tremendously hard in Fairfield County. Year before last, we had the most murders we've ever had in this county. And those are our cases. And those are people who have to stay in jail for a long time, and they take a long time to resolve. So trying to keep these folks that I've got employed and keep them with good salaries is mainly what I'm asking for. You see in there, I've asked for an investigator travel. We were very fortunate to get money, recurring funds, I might add, from the legislature, so I can finally have a full-time staff investigator. But as y'all are always aware, the state is real good about giving you things, but not necessarily funding the whole thing. That's what they did here. They gave me enough to pay the salary, but I can't afford a car. I've got to pay mileage, and that's why I'm asking for just something on mileage so I can help pay for that. Other part of it is professional organizations. We are all licensed attorneys. We have to be members of the South Carolina Bar. We're members of the Fairfield Bar. We're members of another professional organization, and we have to get continual legal education hours. That's why I'm asking for the funding for that professional services and training. My time's up. I'll be glad to talk as long as you let me, but.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Chairman.
Again, thank you for all that you do. Appreciate it.
And the current funding level on that is, again, set at adopted 22 at 95,204. And next up, we have the Railroad Museum.
Hi, everybody. A lot of you know me. I actually live in Columbia. And my wife has said, when are you moving to Fairfield? Nah, not gonna happen. I got a real nice house. And a lot of things going on down there too. I want to thank council, all of you, for all the years that you have supported us. We have had a wonderful relationship with the county, and you guys guys and gals, sorry, have been solidly behind us. Let me just kind of review a couple of items. First of all, we're all volunteer. We have no full-time or part-time employees. We have a couple local women that work occasionally when we're really overwhelmed. They're both from Fairfield. I have my colleague, Pat Walker, here. He is a local resident. He lives here in Willisboro, and he is one of the many volunteers. The goal is tourism. We attract people from all over the state and all over the country. We get people coming through from New York, from Florida, from Chicago, from California. And one of the reasons is we are the only tourist railroad that actually runs trains in the state. We're the only ones. There are other railroad museums like Aiken and Branchville and Spartanburg, but they do not run trains. They just have displays. We run trains. We've been here since 1983, well over 30 years, and we've continued to operate and improve. We're currently open Wednesday through Saturday for people to come by. We run trains on a schedule. It's on our website. We run trains every Saturday during the summer. We run trains for special events like the Easter Bunny. We just finished with the Easter Bunny, and we'll be running pumpkin patch trains in the fall. And we have the visitor from the North Pole coming in December. But we also run a lot of charters and special trains. We have over 10 special trains running between April and May. I heard comments that Fairfield wasn't affected as much by COVID. We normally have between 9,000 and 10,000 riders a year. In 2020, we had 3,000. A third of our ridership. We were hurt. 2021, we doubled it. We're well over 6,000 riders last year, and we're hoping to get up to the 9,000 and 10,000 bracket this year. We try to get people in, and we try to do things that attract people and keep them here in the county. The monies that we ask for pay for a portion of our maintenance, what it costs to keep the locomotives working, to repair the track, to keep the rail cars functioning. And if any of you have looked over my quarterly reports, the county grant last year paid for about a quarter of the maintenance expenses. Ticket prices pay for all the difference in that, plus everything that goes into keeping the place open and running. We're trying to gather some money for some of the big projects that we need to do, and I can talk more about those. We've been working hard to improve our image. We had a whole marketing program done for us just before the pandemic. And if you take a look at the brochures, you'll see some of the results. A wonderful new logo, a catch line, "You all aboard." We have new T-shirts. These are kids' T-shirts. We have adult T-shirts, trying to really use some of that marketing that was done for us. We won a contest and had marketing for free. I see them over time. I have a real problem talking. I'll stop. We hope that you'll continue our funding, and I thank you all very, very much. Questions?
How do you go about getting one of those shirts?
You come by between 10 and 4 on Wednesday through Saturday, and you bring a $20 bill, and you can own one.
Fairfield County is going to have a Wings and Wheels Festival.
Yes.
They're selling shirts.
I hadn't thought about that. We will be there with a setup, advertising the museum.
But that's what I was thinking about advertising.
Yeah. Doug, thank you, sir. That's a very good idea. That says we can do it. We'll do it. Thank you.
Ms. Bass, how is he funded through tourism?
Yes, he's funded through tourism related, which comes through our state accommodations tax. And currently the funding level is set at $28,000, which is the same as last year.
Thank you.
Next in your packet is the rescue squad. Mr. Ramsey had sent me a message that he was not going to be able to make it. So I guess if we have any questions for him, we can direct those to him. After that,
I didn't hear you. Repeat what you
I said that next in your packet is the rescue squad. Mr. Ramsey had sent me a message, and said he would not be able to make it. But I told him if we had any questions, we could get those to him. After that are the Association of Counties and the I-77 Alliance, which are generally membership fees, but they kind of get grouped with these. I doubt anybody's here. After that is Sister Care.
But before you move on, please
Yes.
note that the Association of South Carolina Association of Counties, they returned the fee. Was that last year, year before last?
I can't remember which fiscal year that fell in, but it was one of the COVID years, I believe. They returned that for everybody. Yes,
So again, thank you.
yes. Sister Care is next.
Take this down so y'all can hear me. Good afternoon. My name is Melva Rogers. I am the rural advocate for Sister Care for Fairfield County. I'm also accompanied by our executive director, Ms. Ann Keita. With Sister Care, our mission is to provide services and to advocate for women who are abused and also for their children. We also promote the prevention of domestic violence through community awareness and training. We serve women in 5 counties: Fairfield, Newberry, Kershaw, Richland, and Lexington counties. In Fairfield County, we provide a lot of different services. I am the primary worker here in Fairfield, so I pretty much do it all, from all of our community services through our court advocacy services, assisting with orders of protection, divorces, anything that we need to assist with. With our community services, we offer supportive housing services. We also offer children's counseling services, individual counseling services, emergency shelter services. I can pass around just a list of our services that we offer. Brad, if you don't mind. Hey, Brad. Thank you. With the services that we offer, they are all given to our clients free of charge. So we don't charge for any of the services that we do offer. We are supported by grants and funding from different counties such as this. We receive our referrals from the Fairfield County DSS, from Fairfield County Sheriff's Department, from the Fairfield County Magistrates Court for through the Domestic Violence Court. And we also have self-referrals where women are able to walk in. My office is located at the Fairfield DSS building, so it's in a safe, neutral location where women are able to come in and get services. One service that I did not mention is our 24/7 service line, where women are able to receive assistance no matter the day or the hour. And like I said, all services are offered free of charge. Thank you. Did anyone have any questions?
No questions, but I tell you, thank you for the work you do. It's this work you do is very important to everyone, really. So again, sometimes I know it's kind of tough work, and sometimes it bothers you on what people are going through because you see some of this kind of stuff. But again, I want to thank you just for you being able to do this kind of work. It speaks well of what you're doing. And again, thank you for this county.
Thank you.
That the funding level is set at 7,200. 7,200 is the same as the 2022 request. There any other questions on this one? Okay, I think next is the solicitor.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me. I'm Randy Newman. I'm the solicitor for the Sixth Circuit, Lancaster, Chester, and Fairfield counties. Sent in my request, just to tell you a little bit about what we do. We work closely with Mr. Frick and the Public Defender's Office as an arm of public safety. So while he's tasked with defending the accused, we are tasked with prosecuting those cases. So we prosecute, and not only for the obvious Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, Winsboro Public Safety, but also some agencies that you may not think of, such as DNR, our game wardens, DHEC, DSS, our Highway Patrol, SLED, Department of Juvenile Justice. So any agency that can create a warrant, we prosecute those cases. Not only prosecution, but we also are tasked with maintaining diversion programs for mainly for low-level and first-time offenders. So we run a juvenile arbitration, a juvenile drug court, an alcohol education program, a traffic education program, pretrial intervention. We have a worthless check unit, adult drug court, a veterans court, and we also handle record expungements for our citizens. Guys, my current level was 114, and I'm requesting an increase, and I'll go through what I'm asking for. First of all, like the public defender said, we work together a lot. We work together to create or come up with this career ladder several years ago that we passed, so that when folks start out at 49, they know they're not going to stay at 49,000. So, you know, I had a guy who is due on the career ladder. That's what I'm asking for, 4,949 on the career ladder. As for cost of living, traditionally what we've done with each county, when that county gives a cost of living, they would include only the folks who work in this county in my office. In other words, you know, like the public defender said, I'm in the same boat. We get a little state funding. We get funding from each county. But all of my employees are Chester County employees just because of payroll. But several of those employees work full-time here only in Chester County. And those are the folks that I ask you to cover. Should there be a cost of living increase for the county, I just ask that you include those folks who work here in the Fairfield County Courthouse on my staff. We have some IT needs. We are now getting discovery through electronic means, through email and downloading and things like that. The download speeds are horrendous here. We've worked with IT on that. I think it was last year they bumped it up a notch. It now needs to go up again. We're getting so much body cam footage and videos and things like that we didn't always get electronically. Now we're having to download all that, and it's taken forever. And we've met with, I think it's True Vista, and it would cost an extra $350 a month or $4,200 per year for the upgrade. Also under IT, I have to upgrade my case management system. The state is funding the upfront cost on that case management system of $75,000. Then there's a maintenance fee of $4,500 per month. I'm asking each county in my circuit to fund 1/3 of that. That comes to $18,000 per year. Lastly, you heard Mr. Kennedy say DUIs are going up in Fairfield County. We have a DUI prosecutor that specializes in prosecuting DUIs. He is grant funded. He's here. He's works throughout the circuit in each county. His grant will end toward the end of this year, and I'm asking each county to fund 1/3 of the cost of his salary and fringe. And just to tell you, I know my time's up, but during COVID, we did not lay down. Public defender and I worked together with our clerks of courts, with our judges, and we were #1 in the state on moving percentage of cases during COVID. Y'all got any questions? I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions? Mr. Newman, I want to thank you for the citizens of our area for working with them with expungements and that kind of thing. We've talked before again, but I tell you, man, what you're doing to try to help citizens become just full citizens is to be commended. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm happy to any of y'all on council to have those town halls. I'm happy to come and explain the process to your constituents. Anything you need, we're there. Thank y'all.
And again, at this time, that current funding level is set in the draft at 114,929, which is the same as fiscal 22.
How much?
114,929. And what, you have a question, Ms. Bell? Oh, okay. Last but not least, we have transitions. Yep.
Thanks for having me tonight. I'm Craig Curry. I am the CEO of Transitions Homeless Center. We're located in downtown Columbia. Don't let that fool you, though. We have folks from Fairfield County who come down and stay with us all the time. First of all, thanks to the council for supporting us in the past. We're grateful for that and all of the support that you have given us. We're a 260-bed facility, again, located down on Main Street in Elmwood. So we target the entire Midlands area. Lexington County and Richland County are the largest, but all of the outlying counties, to include Fairfield, will come to Transitions with adult men and women, and they'll get support there without question. We've housed 3,207 people since we opened almost 11 years ago. Last year, we touched 3,110 folks during COVID. That was hard. We've not decreased any of our services in COVID. We've never closed our doors for a single day. We've continued to operate through the pandemic. We served 188,000 meals last year. Lots of food. Homeless folks need food. We serve 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Sunday, it doesn't matter. We serve 3 meals a day. We had 20 folks that we put into shelter last year from Fairfield County. Again, they've received services. That's a wide gamut of everything from job services, housing searches, medical care, psychiatric care, addiction care, all of it. They were the beneficiaries of being able to come to Transitions, get those services. Right now, we have an elderly person from Winsboro who moved down to Columbia to stay with his sister. The sister, for whatever reason, put him out. He came to Transitions. He wants to come back to Winsboro. So we've gotten him an emergency housing voucher, and we're going to get him placed up here in the coming week or two. So again, the county lines are very permeable. People come and go. They travel between the counties. They go to where they can get help. And often folks from Fairfield will go down to Richland County to get various help across the boards to lots of services and nonprofits that are located in the capital city. We're grateful to what you have done for us in the past. We're not a big support. We're not a big ask. It does help. I am a proud resident of District 2. I like to come here every year and watch you all in action. And so I don't mind sitting for a long time because I see who you are and I see what you're doing. I'm thankful for what you do for Fairfield County. I'm grateful for your willingness to serve. Thank you. That's it, barring any questions. And I was shooting for 3 minutes. I went 3 seconds over. I'm sorry.
Again, any questions? Again, thank you too. I appreciate this kind of work. I'm just,
Thank you much, sir.
yes, sir.
And that fiscal 22 funding level was $3,600. I think that's everybody.
That's it.
All right.
Do you,
Go
do
ahead.
you have anything else, Mr. Whitaker, for tonight?
Yes, sir. We want to do the revenue budget, and then we want to talk about the motions list. If okay, you want to take a break or
One of the things we normally, at least last time, but these other council members can help me out here, is that after we do the second reading,
Mhm.
we'll put together based on that, we'll put together the motion list, and before we do the because the motion list happens on the on third reading,
okay,
and then you amend it. So that's how I see the motion.
up to you all. What are the will of council? We're prepared.
We were gonna talk about the capital expense at our last.
Okay.
meeting. We didn't do it.
Okay, so we can do that. But we was just talking about, do you have any questions about the second reading and motion list though?
I mean, whatever.
Okay, all right.
And you got any?
That's what we're gonna talk about, the capital?
Ms. Williams is going to do that. I guess we were just in our discussions about the motions list. If we could get it maybe developed, and then we might have a little more guidance into what changes to put in that second reading, which we know it won't be final, but it might be more reflective of what the final would be. Or do you just want to, I mean, we could do it either way, but I think that was kind of our thought behind trying to get it closer to what that final might be.
Okay, but in order to do that, one of the things we have to do is because, for instance, I want to see the money added back to recycling, but I don't know whether these other council members want to see that.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
I get
So if we all have to decide that, and I can't just say put it in the budget now, because the recommendation and talking to Mr. Whitaker is when we prepare the ordinance,
Right.
will be that you're gonna it's gonna be option 2, right?
Option 2 with the 10%.
Okay,
Because
so
that gets you
then,
closer.
but from that, we'll work on the motion list to add those things that council members want to add to that list,
Okay.
because and to see how we go forward with it. I think I'm right here, right? Okay, I see Councilman Roberts shaking his head here, because if we do it any other way, at this point, I don't know how to say what we all agree to.
Okay. Sounds good.
What you think now? You can.
No, I think that sounds perfect. I think over the last couple of years with some of our work sessions got shifted around with regards to having Zoom meeting. We had a lot of different moving parts, and I guess it's just kind of rolled out. I don't know that it's been the same for the last couple of years. So however y'all want it to.
I'm right, but this time it don't look like there are going to be many things on the motion list. It don't seem like it.
Okay.
So it is closer to where we need to be, and it's got to be that way because of the money.
Mhm.
We don't have the revenues to talk about much more than that. But so let's listen to the.
Okay.
Again, I'm talking. Any other council members see it any different? Okay, so let's
You said we're gonna submit a motions list or what?
yeah. What you do is we got to have second reading, and once we have second reading, what you do is from that second reading we'll see what's there, and then from that, so when we I think at the second reading we also gonna have the public hearing. Am I right? Okay, we have the public hearing, and then after that, people can talk about what they want on the motion list. Okay, and my thinking is, and we can do that. We're gonna schedule. I think we got 2 more work sessions scheduled, right? But I think we can just go back to one. We can do second reading and then the work session.
Well, that's one of the questions on the agenda. We currently have another budget work session scheduled for next Monday. It was one that we put on in case we needed to come back with any other questions. But if council would like to, we want to know if you want to still have that work session next Monday, or if it's the idea to push it back and we can move it to, I believe it's Monday, May 16th, which would be after the second reading public hearing.
Right.
So that there could be more work at that time. So that was one of the questions we had for you all.
And that's, and again, that's what we do, because that'll give us an opportunity, do second reading, then come back for the work session so we can develop the motion list from the work session for that time. If everybody, so it sounds like we got consensus.
What's the date on that?
That will be Monday, May 16th. And I'd like to also ask council if we can discuss the capital at that time. I don't have that capital spreadsheet. It wasn't on tonight's agenda in front of me, and I can't log in. I was trying to connect to the internet so I could pull it up and discuss it. But I can tell you, from that memo that's put in the book and from the recommendation, I realize we can't allocate federal funding in this budget process. But one of the things that we did was when we asked all of the departments to submit their capital needs for the next 5 years, we then kind of prioritized that and looking at some money that we'll have left over from the potential DSS roof project and looking at the second allocation of ARPA, we did recommend some projects to potentially be funded out of those. And so we thought if we could at least identify that now at the end of those projects, and when the ARPA funding comes down, then we'll already know what we would like to allocate that money towards. And we'll do the same thing with any other projects that come forward. As you heard last night with Mr. Davenport, one of our economic development projects, the mega site grading, it came in under budget. So we may be able to look at some of that funding as well in the future to potentially fund some capital projects. And then also Ms. Bass and I are looking at some other opportunities, some other ways that different counties fund their capital needs. And we'll be bringing that back to you as well for future discussion. We may not have it all fleshed out by the next work session, but we are trying to look long-term because we do realize that with the revenues and with all of the operational expenses that we're going to have to look at all sorts of options to fund the county's capital needs so we can make sure we maintain health and safety in Fairfield County.
Again, thank you, Ms. Williams. So, I'm good with doing that. So, we just come back, what day you said it's gonna be?
May 16th, but if
Okay.
anybody has questions before that about capital specifically and to make it move faster, please let me know.
But now, and Mr. Gilbert, now, we got the capital in our book, so if there anything if you wanna bring up, and for them to consider and look at, because all of us got our books here, and we can go through some of the things if you wanna go through it.
The departments that requesting capital, they are gonna be here, department head?
Now, one of the things y'all noticed that, all the departments did is present to you their capital.
Yeah.
When they came before council, they told you about their capital. Now, one of the things they did is on the spreadsheet is they put it all down for us. But you remember when I told y'all how much the capital was costing? Remember I told you, I think it was a little over about 5 million.
5 million.
Yeah. So I wrote it all down. And so they've already given us their capital. But it is on the spreadsheet that they developed.
Mr. Bell, Council Chair, if there is a specific department that you want information from or need further information, please let me know and we can try to have that person here or have that information available as well.
Do y'all want to talk about the revenue while we're here tonight?
Okay, talk about what now?
Revenue.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just had some information for you on that.
Okay. We may not be prepared to talk about it since we're just getting it, but if you got something you're gonna share with us.
Well, it's focused in, it's just a little more detail of it. So it already kind of a little more detail. And this is the, our general fund revenue. As you know, most of our special revenue funds, they're obviously grants or other special sources of revenue. These are the main categories, and I grouped it together. The detail is in your book, but I took the last several years, the actual amounts, so you could kind of see where some of our revenue estimates come from. Of course, the 2022 actual is not the full year yet. But one of the main ones under our taxes, which we'll get to that, I broke that out in detail because I wanted you to be able to see that. Do y'all have any questions about the summary sheet or anything you want to specifically talk about there?
Yeah, I got a question right fast.
Okay.
The grand total for revenues for 2023 is 35 million.
Yes, sir.
Now, because on our sheet it's 33 million.
This includes any transfers. This would include any transfers in from fund balance too. If you look right up that number 6, that would include that.
Okay, so you included the fund balance.
It's
the money, the
it's included in this total number here. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
I got you. So it's the same thing, but what you did is include the fund.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then if you look at the big sheet, I wanted to break the taxes out because that's, a lot of the other stuff, the fees and the state aid and the different things we get, we don't have, they don't represent the amount of the budget that the taxes do. But I wanted you to be able to see the trends, for the last several years and what we've collected, and where you can see how that's gone up and then back down in some cases. Of course, the very first line, utilities, is what we get from the nuclear plant. That's the bulk of that, which is the bulk of that budget. And it had gone down a little. For 2022, it has gone back up. So I think we're able to hopefully see that trend go back up. One of the biggest decreases I want you to see, that we've talked about it in some of our conversations, but I just wanted you to really see that. If you go down to line 4108, the state business personal, back in 18 and 19, that was well over $1 million. For 21, we only collected 334. So this is one of those that just took a big nosedive. And what caused that to happen?
I'm sorry. What line you on?
Line number 4108 on the big sheet.
Okay. I see it.
So you can see how that took a nosedive. This is, one of the main things when we talk about the revenue we lost at the nuclear plant. Basically, while they were under construction, they had basically a construction city on the ground. And when that construction stopped, and they were paying property taxes on all that equipment. So when that stopped and they packed up and moved out, this is what caused that nosedive on that state business personal. That's their taxes on their personal property, their plant and equipment. And we've talked about that in multiple conversations, but I wanted you to be able to actually see that trend. So that is one big thing to just be aware of. Otherwise, I think I mentioned earlier, we eased up real property tax a little bit in talking with the tax assessor, with the housing market and homes selling for prices that have exceeded what they were on the tax rolls for. That new selling price will become the new value. And so that's going to help our assessments go up on real property. So I think we're comfortable to ease that up a little bit. Mainly, otherwise, things are going to be pretty stable. But if y'all have any questions or need us to bring anything more back, but I did want you to have that.
Ms. Bass, did we stay at the 220,000 versus the 250, 280 with the 333?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, it's still in here just as the 220.
Right. Okay, is there any questions? Again, I think, appreciate everyone being here tonight, and appreciate all the work that everyone has done to try to get us here. If nothing else, I think we got meal. Okay, we got meals for council. Yeah. Hey, now Dougie better not be saying nothing this time, because he sent me a text last time. Come on now. All right, but anyway, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed, nay? We now stand adjourned at 7:49.